Yeah, so I'm going to be before I kind of go on to some other topics. I'm going to be talking to my Sikh brothers first. Obviously, this is Mani Sinda here, who came down a couple of weeks ago. He should be back on Sunday, so we can talk about more Sikh Punjabi issues. This time we was talking about Afghanistan, and I'm going to go into Afghanistan in a bit because that's one of the issues I've got to kind of resolve. Over the weekend, I met a lot of Sikhs, and you know, to some people's surprise and even mine, it was all positive. Maybe some people don't like the way I deliver my lines or the way I articulate myself, and that's something I can refine over time. And I agree, I need to really kind of refine my language and be more kind of selective about who I have a conversation or a debate with, and I will be doing that. There was a lot of Sikhs saying they're going to be popping down and they want to come down, or they want to come down but they're worried. I will say to my Sikh brothers, anyone that wants to come down, come down. I think Speaker's Corner is an amazing place to be. I remember there's 150 years of history there. Right now it's become a bit of a circus and like EastEnders. I'm part of the problem as well, but I'm trying to kind of regain some kind of sense in my conversations by being selective. That doesn't mean I'm going to have people abusing me and I'm just going to walk away. People say I'm just arguing. No, no, I'm recording the arguments and I'm showing you what I have to go through. I'm not some pussycat that's going to sit there. I will, on every single time someone comes up to me and tries to abuse me, I will retaliate, record, and maybe heckle back. Otherwise, it would just go out of control. So, what I will say to my Sikh brothers, anyone that's going to, brothers and sisters are going to come down, do not get involved in my uh, issues, because you will hear things that are against Sikhs, but in reality it's really against me. They want to hurt me, so they will say some vile things against Sikhs, but it's really towards me. So don't take it personally, because I don't want this to be a Sikh Muslim issue, because it's not that. I don't want it to be that. It is more of a Raj versus the Muslim Ummah. Raj by himself. I'll defeat the Khawarij Ummah myself. Now, but basically, there's a lot of good Muslims at the park that you don't see me having conversations with, and I don't want it to turn into this kind of Sikh versus Muslim. The more Sikhs that come down, what I do want it to be is a more of a kind of, because you will hear things like, people will come up to me, and I've had people call me a dirty Sikh. I've had people say I got shit under my turban, that they're gonna knock my rag off, they're gonna grab my kashara, which is the Sikh shorts, and they're gonna religious shorts, and they're gonna put it over my head. They're gonna burn me and send my ashes to Kashmir. I've been threatened and left, right, and centre. Bottle chucked on my head the other day. So you will see things, but I will say to any Sikh that comes down, do not get involved. This is my issue. Yeah, if Sikhs start coming down and start getting involved, I don't want to be part of that kind of situation, because it's going to escalate quite quickly. I can deal with it. I'm a grown ass man. I can do it myself. I appreciate people are concerned. And you can support me by other ways, like filming if someone's abusing me, just in case to do something, or just be there in the crowd so I know you're out there and I can see you. That will help me as well. I don't want you kind of going in there trying to kind of like defend me, because trust me, I can defend myself. The other thing is that the more Sikhs that do come down, I'm hoping we can have a bigger Sikh circle and talk about more kind of poignant issues. I will say one thing though, that it's up to you, up to the Sikhs, but I don't see the point of talking about Sikhism and religion in a debate. If you want to talk about Sikhism and religion, I would prefer that we go to the side, we get someone like COE and my camera, and we have a discussion. Not a debate. We're not there to win debates about Sikhism. One of the things that basics of Sikhi and Bhai Jagraj Singh realised, who passed away sadly, realised very quickly, Speaker's Corner is not a place to debate about Sikhism. I'll try and explain to you why. One, talking about a belief and arguing about a belief is pointless. Secondly, trying to explain the dharmic faiths of Sikhism or Hinduism or Jainism or Buddhism to people of the Abrahamic faiths is pointless. Their concept of heaven and hell, for one, is different. And so when you try and explain it, you might as well bang your head against the wall. What I would like to do is, because I want to learn more as well, so if Sikhs want to come down and we want to have a discussion and you can kind of enlighten me, enlighten other Sikhs, it will be more of a conversation and not a debate. We're not there to win anything. So I can't stop you from doing it, but I would advise you not to. Because you will soon realize it's completely pointless. Let the Abrahamic faiths fight it out over there. They've got their own issues and stuff like that that I don't want to get involved in terms of theology. Like I said, this weekend, Manny Cinder's going to come down. Big up Manny Cinder. Last weekend, one of my bros come down. I don't know. I met him once before. I called him my bro, a Sikh brother. A guy called Paul. And big up Paul. I hope you're watching the video. I do like you. He's a bit of a character. But what happened is that I told him to wear a mask. Because if you don't want to be recognised at Speaker's Corner, you are allowed to wear a mask. And this is Paul, one of my Sikh brothers. And unfortunately, no criticism, Paul, but us Sikhs have a bit of a temper sometimes. We're not pussycats, you know. There is a reason why Sikhs are renowned for being good soldiers, is because we don't take things too lightly. So unfortunately, he got into quite a few heated problems over there. He has told me he's decided not to go back because he knows for himself that he can't control his kind of what I call temper. But I will say one thing, and I will confront the guy that done it last week because I didn't see it. A guy pulled his mask down, and you might see it on COE. I think pulling someone's mask down is tantamount to kind of like assault to a certain degree, because you're grabbing somebody's glasses fell off, and I didn't see that at the time. And if I did, I would have pulled that guy up on it. You'll see it on COE later. So unfortunately, Paul ain't going to come back, he said. But it would have been good talking to him. But anyway, big up, Paul. So what I'm going to go into next is kind of like the complete cowardness of some of these so-called men that go to Speaker's Corner. I say so-called men because most of them are like little girls. Sorry if I'm being sexist, but they are like little girls. I'll give you an example of one of the biggest girls. A couple of weeks ago, I spoke about Afghanistan and the plight of the Sikhs. There was a terrorist attack where Sikhs were targeted, and 18 people, Sikhs, were killed, and I think there was 1 or 2 Hindus in there. And Afghanistan only has a population of 1,000 Sikhs, and they've gone through a lot of hardship. And in this particular video, I also mentioned that Muslims went through hardship, and that, you know, it wasn't just the Sikhs, Muslims have it as well. But the difference is that you know, as a dhimmi in an Islamic country, the Taliban really persecuted the Sikhs as well. They made them wear armbands, which is similar to kind of like Nazi Germany. The population dwindled from 250,000 to 1,000, and so 18 people being killed is a massive loss. And so this particular guy, last weekend, I call him the Afghan guy, was talking about me again when I wasn't there. Now, I just want to give you before I show you this video of him talking about me, I just want to give you a history. Here's another video of him talking about me with a Sikh guy, trying to belittle me and trying to kind of do what I called, we call it jugliya, yeah? Jugliya means shit stirring. When you're shit stirring, like showing this, he was trying to stir the shit. Luckily, this Sikh brother didn't really fall for it. He did say one silly thing, but I'll forgive him for that. Here he is again, another time, talking about me again. And he sees a Sikh guy, so obviously he's trying to get him to say bad stuff about me. But this Sikh brother, big up my Sikh brother, I know he doesn't agree with everything I say, but he did not throw me under the bus. He just said he disagrees with me, so thank you very much. And so you're going to have him again, Mr. Afghan guy, talking and talking and talking, talking and talking and talking about me when I'm not there. Then when I see him, watch how frightened he is. Look at him. Look at this guy now, yeah? I confronted him and look at him.
That's the man under pressure.
Look. Look at his face. Look at his face. Yeah. So, when I confronted him, he's like a little pussycat and he couldn't answer anything and he was just kind of waffling. On this particular day, I came late, so I came around 7 o'clock. So I'm not sure what time this filmed, but listen to what he says.
But the funny thing is, but people should understand.
Now he's talking about my conversation about Afghanistan with Mani Sindar.
Raj and the other guy, they were talking about Sikhs in Afghanistan.
Oh yes, I saw. I didn't see it, but I saw a video. Yeah.
And none of
But that's James, little James. Big up James.
them has been there, has experienced their suffering or their good life or
This is your
whatever.
country.
And this is my country. Two guys talking about a country that they've never been.
You should have
And
joined
for
in.
me, no, but the problem is, see, that's why when I see people, they're talking about something, but they don't know what they're talking about.
All right. So by this guy's logic, no one should talk about anything. So no Muslim can talk about Palestine unless they've been there. No Muslim can talk about Iraq unless they've been there. No Muslim can talk about Burma unless they've been there. So you know, it's like, or Syria. You can't talk about anything. So you're telling me that I cannot have an opinion because it goes against his narrative. I was criticising the fact that the Islamic rule was oppressive towards Sikhs, and he's trying to say it was a hunky-dory time for them. Obviously, the people, like when you have apartheid, the whites on the apartheid were happy, and the people that were being on the blacks on the other side were not happy. So obviously, as an Afghan, he would have been seen the Taliban as a relatively okay force. But for Sikhs, it wouldn't have been so good, or Hindus, or any of the people that were not of the book, or even the Christians or the Jews. So you know, this guy, I then saw him later on during that day. I didn't know he had this conversation where he's going on about calling me a liar again. Remember, this is the same guy that called me Trump, that I'm like Donald Trump, you know, that I'm like the Trinity. God knows how I've got into his head so badly that he described me as a Trinity. You know, Jesus, God, and the Holy Ghost. That's how much I've got into this Afghan's head. I must be like Hari Singh Nalawal to him. Sorry about that. I know Hari Singh Nalawal's a badass, but can never be like him. But people, Sikhs, will know who I'm talking about. But they got into the heads of the Mughals. I mean the Afghans, and they used to tell the kids, if you don't go to sleep, Hari Singh Nalawal is going to come. And they all fell asleep pretty quick. So I'm kind of like that to him. I'm in his head. When I saw him on the day, I remember looking at him. He looks terrified of me. I don't blame him. I'm a bit of a monster sometimes, especially when I'm in my beast mode, like I was on that day. So I looked into his eyes, and all I could see is fear. Where's your Afghan spirit gone? Huh? I used to have respect for Afghans. At least I thought they had a bit of guts. But you seem to have nothing within you. Where has it gone? You know, that is the one thing that Afghans I always used to respect. I was like, yeah, damn, those guys can handle themselves. But this guy, when you see him, he's scared shitless of me. So what I'm going to do with, hopefully with Mani Sindar is, when we go on Sunday, we'll talk. I'm going to talk about other issues with Mani Sindar. Hopefully I can talk about alcoholism within the Sikh community, because I touched upon it with Hussein, and it was very unproductive because it was more arguing on a conversation about that. So when we go back, I will be asking you and Mr. I think his name Muhammad from Afghanistan, and I will be asking you what is your take on this. I won't berate you. Obviously, you're terrified of me, so I will be kind of like a little bit calm around you. I don't want you kind of pissing yourself or anything. You know, wetting your panties that they normally do. So I will be soft on you to a certain degree, unless you start talking shit like you normally do. I'll let Mani Sindar kind of come into the conversation as well, so we can both talk to him. Maybe you might feel a bit more calmer with Manny. And the other thing was, there's another video that I find quite hilarious, because it just shows you the hypocrisy of a lot of the Muslims within the park, because they seem to have one of the things I always say about Muslims, like they have one rule for themselves and another rule for non-Muslims. And so this is what Sharia would look like in real life. And so you can see this guy saying that I can't discuss issues that are abroad because I've never been there, but they can discuss all issues about Islam and everything, and Muslims, and cry and bitch and whine all day, but I can't say nothing because then I'm an Islamophobe if I mention anything. This is another really, really great one. Because this guy here, yeah, is one of the guys that kept on following me around a couple of weeks ago. And guess what he kept on saying to me? He kept saying, Raj, you're always saying all Muslims this. You can't stigmatize all Muslims. And I said, not all Muslims, about the grooming epidemic. And he kept going, you can't stigmatize all Muslims. You're a hate preacher. You hate this. Now listen to what he says just on Sunday and watch what hypocrisy goes on here. Watch this. And this is very common with Muslims, though. I'm going to say, I don't... What it is, yeah, I don't want to keep on saying Sunni Muslims because I don't want to cause divisions between Shia and Sunni because I don't really have a problem with Shias, to be honest with you. It is the Sunnis, but I know every time I say Sunni, everyone's saying I'm causing division. But it is mainly the Sunnis, man. That's all I can say. I don't want to cause division because I know it's a very sensitive subject, but let's just say this Muslim. But whenever I say, let me just say something. Whenever I say Muslims, I mean Sunnis, all right?
People.
Yeah, what about
religion?
What about the
religion?
black
I've been a victim.
People.
Black people, I say that because I've been a victim of crime.
And
By black, I mean, what happened to me? I got stabbed in my neck in a
What about
robbery.
people that have a club against me?
That's what I say that, bro. I got stabbed in my
angry
neck.
with him?
I got stabbed there.
By
My
who?
sister got attacked by black people.
No,
That's what I
no,
say.
no,
It's not being racist.
It's narrow-minded.
But it's not racist because my brother, I've got people. My best friend is black, so it's not.
Oh my God, you're like EastEnders. We all.
So this guy has said, yeah.
I didn't say Muslim. I said Islam.
So what he says in the video, yeah, is black people are violent people. Yeah, and the reason why he has this particular view is because he's been attacked by black people. And so he's stigmatizing a whole community, saying that they're all violent. Oh my God, that's crazy, man. It's like, you know, you're going around telling people you can't stigmatize my community, the Muslim community, because you're calling us this and you're saying you're grooming, but you're doing the same thing with the black community. Can you not see the hypocrisy? I'm going to be going now, but one thing I do want to say as well, there's another situation that happened on Sunday that I still cannot get my head around. Very confusing. I'm still like wondering what happened. I went into the park and I was talking to Mike and a lot of the gang members guiding a new generation, and for some reason one of the older uncles that I've never had a problem with, because I used to stand with the G circle and stuff, so I talked to certain people, and one of the uncles, he was used to be a Black Panther, he's still a Black Panther, just went in on me for like 20 minutes. Like I still cannot understand what happened. I had to walk away, not because I was scared or anything, because I didn't want to say anything disrespectful, because he is an elder guy and I didn't want to say anything that I would regret. So I know when I have to walk away, it's best to walk. One thing I do want to say is, like, he was saying that I was criticizing G.A.N.G and saying G.A.N.G silly. I've never said such a thing. He didn't let me finish my sentence, and so he just heard something and then he was like, oh, Raj, this. Whatever problems I have with people, like respecting them, like, yeah. One thing I've always supported is their what they're doing with G.A.N.G, guiding, not gang, but guiding a new generation. I do believe that the only way to get to use some violence is to use their language. So using the word gang, I don't have an issue with, but he said I had an issue with it. I think changing the what you call the meaning of it is a good thing, and saying guiding a new generation, so you can get them in first and then you can kind of like guide them. You can't get them in by kind of using language that they don't understand, and so I have no issue with it. There's not a single video, not a single post, not a single comment that I've criticized what G.A.N.G is doing. Do I have a problem with some of the members of G.A.N.G? Yeah, probably do. But do I have a problem with the concept of G.A.N.G? No. And what they're doing, I think what they're doing is a good thing. So I have no clue what happened then. I think it might be to do with some of the videos I've done about Rajiv, and the fact that, you know, he's a guy with a chip on his shoulder about white supremacy. Maybe they took that personally, and so they're going after me because of that, but I still stand by that. That doesn't mean I'm saying that about all black people. I'm saying about him specifically. So I don't know. If you see a video next week when I go in there, I'm going to say one thing to anyone that knows the uncle. Out of respect, I'm just not going to dialogue. I'm going to walk away because I don't want to, because I've not said anything, and I don't think I need to argue with someone about something I've never said, because he's saying that I was making fun of G.A.N.G and ridiculing, which I've never had. Anyway, so on Sunday should be interesting, hopefully, and I'll kind of say, like I said to my Sikh brothers, I appreciate the support. But remember, you have jobs, you have a livelihood, you have family, and you probably, don't want to put that at risk. Myself, I don't really give a shit. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and uh, until the South Asian Muslim community stops going around in big groups raping and grooming and stuff like that, and I don't hear a single case from Sikh Youth UK or Sikh Awareness Society. So far, they're still handing around 120 cases. Until I don't hear anything, I'll quieten down. So stop doing it, and I'll stop talking. But I'll talk about other stuff as well in the future. But about the grooming, I won't stop. I will say one thing though, because one warning to any Sikhs that come to the speaker's corner: you're not automatically going to be my bro. I don't work like that. I work on how do you think, not what you look like or what faith you are. Secondly, anyone goes against me in terms of the grooming, you're on the opposite side to me then. Yeah, you can discuss and have a disagreement with me about everything else, but if you go against me on that publicly, then we are on opposite ends, and I will treat you as somebody that is against me. So you do that with your own decision before you go in. If you want to go in and argue about with grooming, just trust me, I'm not going to be nice, and I won't be nice when the conversation ends either. So that's all I say to my Sikh brothers. Like I said, come down there if you want. I think it'd be a great addition to have more Sikhs, but I don't want it to become kind of like a stupid kind of like a soap opera of Sikhs versus Muslims and all that kind of bullshit. There's some great guys there. We're there to have a dialogue and debate, and we need to get back to that. But that doesn't mean I'm going to put up with any shit though. Do you understand? Any of the guys, any of my haters and my fans that come down, I'll brutalise you when you go down there, verbally obviously. Anyway, take care, and hopefully I'll have some more fun videos traumatising my little fans and haters next week. And hopefully I'm an Indian, I'm ashamed of you will be there. Anyway, take care.